Kia ora. My name is Jesse Rumball-Smith, and for my 2022 science fair, Picture Perfect, I had a question of, can a system be designed and built to identify the angles of lines and objects in the real world from a photo without having to physically go out and measure them? In my research, I found a serious problem. There is no simple, easy, quick, and inexpensive way to accurately measure angles of real-world objects. Conventional methods, surveying, involves massive teams going out with large pieces of expensive equipment to get accurate measurements of buildings, leaning, houses, power poles, and more. For the average person, this is not an option, and the majority of simple methods to measure an angle, i.e. a protractor, are prone to many errors and are not robust and scalable. With this information, I came to the conclusion that a new system had to be developed, a system that could be quick, easy, and inexpensive for anyone to use. With this in mind, I went about to create a smartphone usable app that allows you to take a photo of an image, take a photo of a place, and from that image find out accurate angles of the lines and objects in that image. For example, in my science fair, you'll see an example of Te Papa and the lean on that. In that, the average person, out of their curiosity, could take a photo of Te Papa and find the angle of parts of its building, the angle of the walls, the angle of the roof, the steepness. For my project to work, I had to conquer a few main problems. First of all, how am I going to find all of the lines and edges in the image? Following that, I will need to detect the lines from those edges and find the formulas and angles which correspond to them. To attack these two problems, I found separate solutions. My first solution was for the edges. Before finding the edges in the image, I put the image through a pre-processing stage where I turned it into grayscale, as it's easier and more effective for image processing algorithms to use this, and then I blurred it so that there was less noise in the image and it was easier to tell the lines and edges apart. From that, I applied a canny edge detection filter, which found me all the lines and edges in the image. This is the stage where the user interacts with the program after taking the initial photo. There is an interactive slider where you can change the slider to increase the threshold of the edge detection algorithm, ultimately identifying only the edge or edges that you want. Once those edges have been identified, the final stage of the program commences, detecting straight lines from those edges, and then from that calculating the straight lines. Finally, the final image is shown to the user with the straight line overlaid over the image, plotted with the angle and gradient attached. There are so many benefits to a system like this, and after testing and validating it, I found it to be an increasingly accurate system. From my testing, I found that the error rate for the angle detection was 0.12%, 0.12%, and the error for the gradient calculated was just 0.01 more than that, at 0.13%, giving it an average accuracy when comparing it to the known values in my testing of 99.88% and 99.87%. Highly accurate. Accurate enough to be used in many fields, despite household measurements, despite average people's curiosity, possibly even in the building industry, as a cheaper, effective and quicker way to get more houses built.